Before I call upon the panel for the next discussion, I can just tell you that, as a person coming from India with all the talk about original IP, this was playing through the buyer's lounge at Nasscom Junior, and I don't know if you had a chance to walk in there or not at that time, and also at the participants lounge, or one of the lounges at Nasscom, and it was very well received. And I think the whole dynamic of we talked about these conferences at Nasscom for many years about can we get the aesthetic and can we get the color palette that makes sure that we can work on things that have a Western sensibility. I think we've come a long way as an industry, and I can just tell you that the response to this show was overwhelming from every single person that saw it. It was really a very proud feeling. I was only there for 2 days out of the 7 or 8 because I had to go off somewhere else. But it was a great moment to see that this what seemed like an experiment is actually a reality, and I think we will begin to see more co-creation take place between people from the Western world and people from our country. I think this it kind of sets the stage and raises the curtain for the next panel, and I'm going to welcome on stage Anusika from Nickelodeon. Please join us here, and Shelly Page to come up as well. What we're trying to do is, I must give a little background to what we're trying to do here this afternoon. How many of you have seen a super pitch at NACFO in the past? Can you raise your hands? How many people have been here for super pitch? Very few. Well, we've had some good super pitches in the past. We've had it for about 3 or 4 years, and we called for entries this year. And I should just tell you that when the panel of judges saw it both at the regional level and at the central level, we were unable to choose more than 1 or 2 projects that were pitched for this event. And that immediately led us to the fact that we will not bring the pitchers to do what would not be justice either to them or to all of you here at this event. And we decided that we will not go ahead with this panel. And at that point of time, when we circulated the new program, most of the committee that actually sat on the program for this event said, you cannot let a good and important thing die. And you've done this for 2 or 3 years, and what we need to do now is to make sure that we reset. We actually go back and say, well, what is actually expected of people that pitch? And for your benefit, and I think for people that will be given the proceedings of this conference afterwards, especially the young individuals that want to come back and pitch to us next year, what we would do is to have 2 completely different perspectives. And I'm very pleased to welcome Anusika here, and my request is that she is going to, from her perspective as a broadcaster and someone who has driven the channel to great heights in the last few years with a mixture of content both from the international world as well as from this part of the world, give us her take on what does a broadcaster expect from a pitch, what are the pitches that have excited her, and what are the insights that she'd like to share in terms of what she's going to believe are going to be the next potential shows that she would like to see and others in this space. And by way of a contrast, if I may, I'm going to request Shelly, who of course is a talent champion, building bridges across both the international world, significantly nowadays in Europe, and spends many hours as a warrior amongst the universities and colleges and studios in different parts of India, inspiring people with her eye candy show. And some of you here this morning would have seen some glimpses of how she inspires people with great work from all over the world. So may I request Shelly, as by way either of a comparison or a contrast, to say what she looks for when she participates on the juries of Supinfocom and Gobelin, and I don't think 2 hands are enough to count the juries that you participate on a year. I have no idea how you do it. And let's see, as an audience, I think let's see if there are similarities or indeed there are dissimilarities, because perhaps Shelly is doing this more from the point, and Shelly and the jury that she works with would do this more from a true blue creative perspective with potentially a less of a commercial bias. And Anu's going to do this from the point of view that she has to make sure that she gets more ratings and more bang for the buck, and her audiences are going to be more loyal to her channel. That's the two perspectives, if I've summarized it well. And in this one, I think it's important to get some questions and answers. So if I could request, Anu, for you to go first, and Shelley, for you to follow them with maybe 10 or 15 minutes, as much as you'd like to, just to share with us these ideas, and then that would hopefully provoke questions from the floor.
Can you find out who's here?
Yes. Do you want their name and date of birth?
Yes.
Okay.
This is a concert.
How many of you are involved or potentially will be involved in making shows that will be pitched? Can you raise your hands? Okay, so that's about 5-10 people in the room. And how many are here from studios? Excellent. And how many are here from training schools? Excellent. So you have that show of hands that gives you a kind of a fair sense of the room. You've got the universities in a fair number, 20-30%. You've got 70% studios and 10-15 people who are going to pitch or potentially will pitch somewhere. Thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. Ren just asked me if I want to use any slide, any PPTs, any such thing. I've never been fond of PPTs. Every time when I'm sitting in the audience and someone shows me a PPT, the first reaction is, oh my god, there are some numbers coming up, which I've always disliked, and I guess that's the reason I'm in programming and never did mathematics in school. And the topic that we have been asked to speak, I mean, I've met a lot of people. I meet people regularly who come and present pitches to us, to me including. So I'm basically going to do what I have done with a lot of people on, it's been a one-on-one session that we have done with a lot of producers, people who come to present, who want us to come on board as co-producers, or who just want us to outrightly buy shows from them. So I'm just going to say what I say every time to all those people, is have, the show, whatever that we would like to put on our channel is something, first thing is, do I really want to see it myself? Today the reason I didn't carry a PowerPoint presentation is I don't like seeing it myself. So I don't want to subject others to what I don't like doing it. Similarly, a story, a concept has to be something. It cannot be pitched from the point of view of, will this work in the market? Will this be success? Will this be failure? Well, that's all secondary. Trust me, if all of us could just judge from the various calculations and various researches as to this will work and this will not work, then it wouldn't have been content creation. To me, I believe, and that's how me and my team, when we go out and we have picked up content from all over the world, what we see is, can I see myself seeing this program every day on a specific time on a channel? Is this story compelling enough for me to come back to the channel every day? If it is, if I believe I can see it, my kids can watch it, my nieces and nephews can watch it, my neighbors' kids can watch it, that's the time I feel it has a potential. And that's exactly what we are looking for, from each one of you when a pitch is presented to us. Do you yourself believe that the concept is strong enough for you to enjoy it yourself? If it's a series, well, would you take out half an hour of each day of your time to come back to watch that particular show? If you're making a movie, would you like to give 90 minutes of your time uninterrupted to watch a movie? Well, the successful movies are the ones which we believe, as programmer, we believe that I would want to spend that money to go and watch that movie. I would want to switch on the TV, drop everything what I'm doing, to switch on the TV and go and watch the content and that's the concept, those are the kind of concepts that we always look for. We are in the business of, it was a conversation that, it was an off-the-record conversation that we had, me and my colleague had, with the creator of SpongeBob, and we just asked him, how do you make such episodes? The show, the series is hilarious. It's been going on for 10 years. And some of the numbers which were being thrown in the morning, the kind of CP business it does, the way it's an iconic show. So we asked him, how do you do it? He says, nothing. I love the script. Whatever that I love, I just make it. I create a script what I believe I enjoyed myself, me and my team enjoyed. We all have, the childhood never goes out of a person. So trust me, even when we're making content for kids, which at least in India right now, the concept of animation is still restricted only to, the belief is if you're making animation, it's for kids. We have not reached a stage where we say it's animation and even adults are going to enjoy it. No, it's very clearly restricted. I mean, I'm to be very honest with you, when we talk, we do our research, we talk to a 12-year-old kid and we ask him, are you watching animation? And he's a closet watcher, trust me, they all are watching animation. But his immediate response is, I'm not watching it, my younger brother or sister is watching it. Animation is for kids. Well, that's what we are, that's what the culture is right now in the country. But at the same time, we all have, somewhere there's a kid hidden in all of us. We all love watching animation, whether we admit it or we don't admit it. So for us, the foremost thing that we are looking in a concept, coming back to the main topic, what we are looking for a concept is, if we can enjoy it, I mean, that's how we make a judgment. Trust me, there are no calculations going on when we go out and pick up a content. If we like it, we enjoy it, we like the humor of it, we go, we pick it up, we put it on the channel. So far it has worked, and I hope it continues to work. So that's what we are looking for. There's been a lot of debate that I've had with a lot of producers, and the platform was this discussion has been made easier for me because I always believed in me and some of my colleagues, everyone, each one of us, very clearly said, which was repeated out here in the morning also, was that I think it's high time we go beyond our mindset. While we have great stories to tell out there, but purely if I'm talking from a broadcaster's point of view, is we need to create content which travels beyond India. Whether we like it or we don't like it, it's extremely difficult for mythologies to go outside India. And the reason we as broadcaster want those stories to go outside India is simple, that we don't want to share the entire burden. We do not have pockets deep enough to share the entire cost of what an animation series is made with. We cannot afford to do it. The reason, and we have been time and again accused of the fact that we go out and pick up content, well, we go out and pick up content because that content really works. Those characters are still such that kids still can identify them with, whether they are made in Japan, whether they're made in France, whether they are 20 years old, whether they're 30 years old. Well, here are characters which were made that time. It's been made in another country, but still kids can relate to, they can identify with them.